Hi everybody, happy Wicked Wednesday and welcome to Shivers. We've spoken about some of the most haunted places on Earth or scariest places on Earth before, but we've never quite made a bucket list. 2024, at least for me, is the year of travel and exploring some of these most infamous areas, bringing light to the lore that we've heard all of these years. Starting off our list is the Lizzie Borden House. This is located in Falls River, Massachusetts, and many of us know the story of Lizzie Borden. Lizzie Borden had an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. That whole nursery rhyme, I guess you can say. But Lizzie Borden was a regular person, part of a family, and then her entire family was slaughtered by an axe on the morning of August 4th, 1892. Nobody knows who ever did it. All evidence points to Lizzie, but she was never sent to jail. She was never found guilty. Nothing ever happened to her. And she's the lone survivor. So now the house is supposedly incredibly haunted with the entire family that was slaughtered there that morning. You can now stay there. It's a bed and breakfast. They do tours all day, they do tours all night, and you can sleep over. You pay extra, of course, to be in the parents' room or some of the bigger rooms, but it's somewhere that's definitely worth visiting. After hearing this lore since I was in basically 6th grade, it's a place I've always wanted to visit, and really just a interesting cold case in a sense. Speaking of houses, the next on our list is the Winchester House. This is located in San Jose, California, and was owned by Sarah Winchester, whose husband and their entire family created the Winchester rifle. She lost a lot of people in her family due to sickness and other just really random weird deaths, and so she inherited a piece of property when she was pretty much the lone survivor and turned it into what is now the Winchester House or mansion. It has stairs that lead to nowhere. It has spiral staircases that go up to nothing, doors that open to brick walls, and it's such a phenomenon. It took from 1886 when she inherited it to the year 1900 to actually finish building the home, and she lived there during that time, and it's just beautiful. It's upkept today. You can go on tours. She designed the home to be like that because she believed that all the people who were murdered from the Winchester rifle or injured and then passed away would come back to haunt her and her family. So she built that house to confuse the ghosts and not be able to find her in her own home. So again, another home that is thought to be incredibly haunted. It's more of just an actual phenomenon than anything. You want to see the house, want to see some of these stairs that lead to nowhere, want to get lost in it. And yeah, they do this kind of same thing. They don't let anybody stay over, but they do host weddings there, which I think would be amazing. And they do give daily tours throughout the day. Moving on to more of a stereotypical haunted location, Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Kentucky. This is a regular old asylum. Kind of the same story we've heard time and time again for Eastern State Penitentiary, Pennhurst Asylum, all of these different places. There's a lot of people who stayed here who were sick, who were treated poorly, and now they haunt the place. So Waverly Hills Sanatorium in particular in Kentucky is huge. It is a giant piece of property, a giant piece of land, and was created in the early 1900s when Jefferson County was ravaged by an outbreak of tuberculosis known as the White Plague, which prompted the construction of a new hospital. The sanatorium opened in 1910 as a 2-story facility able to accommodate between 40 and 50 tuberculosis patients. The hospital closed in 1961 due to the success of the antibiotic drug in lowering the needs for such a facility. At some point, plans were made to turn the abandoned hospital into a hotel, but this is no longer the case. This place is on a lot of ghost shows and ghost adventures and things like that, but even look at it and it's just creepy. It's like I said, it's just another asylum, but there's something about it that I think is worth going to, and I would love to go. Next is Gettysburg. Being from Pennsylvania, I think you would think that I would have gone to Gettysburg at some point, and I actually never have. So Gettysburg was a piece of land, is an entire town that where the Battle of Gettysburg took place. It lasted only from July 1st, 1863 to July 3rd, 1863, but during this time there's an estimated 51,000 deaths. This was also the most costly war in all of history and resulted in Union victory over the Confederacy. Today, the battlefields of Gettysburg are said to be one of the most haunted places on Earth. You can walk the battlegrounds themselves, but you can also stay in local bed and breakfasts where soldiers had previously stayed in as well. The entire area is full of ghosts and paranormal activity, and countless people have seen soldiers in full uniform still fighting or standing in their positions on the field. Next on the list is the Dent Schoolhouse. This is located in Ohio and is Halloween haunted house, but it's also a real haunted house. So it opened in 1894 as an actual schoolhouse for children in Cincinnati. According to the lore, students complained about a foul odor emanating from the school basement. When Dent citizens stormed the school in 1955, they discovered the grisly remains of missing children in the basement, and the janitor, Charlie McFree, had skedaddled. The old schoolhouse was then closed, and in 2006, a local family purchased the school and turned it into a Halloween haunt. Since then, they've been attracting people through the entire country to experience the half-real haunted house. The schoolhouse itself is only open for the month of October, and they do allow paranormal tours during the weeks of October. This is a completely indoor experience. Don't let you go outside for the Halloween haunt. But whether it's for Halloween or whether it's to explore the schoolhouse, it is one of the most haunted places on Earth. So we gotta go. Next on the list is Roanoke Island in North Carolina. This is up by the Outer Banks, so it's about 3.5 hours away from Raleigh. Way back in 1587, there was a group of settlers from England who decided to colonize here. This would have been a beautiful place to be right off the coast of North Carolina, lightly forested areas, absolutely beautiful. This would have also been the first colonized region of America. However, every single one of the settlers had vanished. There's no traces of their bodies. All of their objects are left behind, though. The only piece of evidence that can be found is the carved word Croatoan on trees in the surrounding areas. Croatoan was thought to be the name of the Native American tribe that lived just south of the Roanoke region, so many people believe the tribe captured and killed these people. With that being the most famous theory, we still to this day don't know what actually happened. Some people say they were abducted by aliens or swept out to sea, but it's somewhere that I want to go, and haunted enough to inspire an entire season of American Horror Story. So worth attending, worth going to. If not for anything else, a nice little spooky beach day. And the final place on our list, probably the number one place on my bucket list of all time, is the Paris Catacombs in France. The Paris Catacombs were founded in the 18th century in response to two secular problems: sinkholes and a surplus of dead bodies. The Cemetery of the Innocents, which had been post-mortem home for generations of Paris citizens, had become putrid, overflowing, and deeply unhygienic. In 1786, King Louis passed a decree that banned the burial of deceased in cemeteries within the city limits. The tunnels are named after the catacombs of Rome, which were built in the 1st century by Christians and the Jews, forced to perform their burial sites in secret. It's crazy. I mean, just look up pictures of the Paris Catacombs. There are skulls all over the place. There are dead bodies that just line the walls. That has to be an incredibly claustrophobic and scary and lore-filled experience. I know whenever I get married, I will certainly do my best to convince my partner to go to France for a honeymoon, but Paris Catacombs will be our first stop for sure. Or who knows, maybe I'll go there on my own. But Paris Catacombs are somewhere that I really want to go. I would also love to go to Chernobyl, but they don't do any tours in Chernobyl anymore. So Paris Catacombs it is. That is our one international visit. So that's it for our list today. Let me know what your bucket list haunted locations are in the comments, and hope to see you at some of these road trips that I know I'll be taking. So thank you for listening, and stay tuned for more from Shivers.